Last night, your soulmate broke down in tears. The reason will leave you stunned. Jesus says you need to be very still right now. Something shattered in the spirit realm while you were sleeping last night. This message is only for you, and if you ignore it, the connection you have always felt may begin to fade into silence forever. Your soulmate was not just crying last night. They were crying out for you with an ache that has a sound only heaven can translate. And the reason they broke down will shake you to the very core of your being. You felt a sudden wave of sadness wash over you at some point yesterday evening. You thought it was just your own tired mind playing tricks on your heart. But it was actually their emotional collapse hitting your spirit across the invisible thread that binds you. Jesus says there is a room where your soulmate sits alone right now. They are holding something that reminds them of a love they haven't met yet. And their hands are trembling because they are fighting the feeling that they are losing you before even finding you. They don't understand why they are crying. Their logical mind is trying to tell them it's just exhaustion or stress. But their soul knows it is grieving a separation that was never supposed to happen. Someone nearby is actively working to convince them that true love is a fantasy. This person has been planting seeds of hopelessness in their mind for weeks. And last night, your soulmate almost believed the lie that you do not exist. Jesus says the weight of that lie broke their heart open. They looked into a mirror with tears streaming down their face. In that moment, their spirit screamed your name even though their lips didn't know it yet. You are not just some random person scrolling through a video. You are the specific answer to a specific cry that ascended to heaven last night. And the urgency you feel in your chest right now is not an accident. Your soulmate is emotionally exhausted from fighting a battle they don't understand. They are deeply sensitive and have been absorbing a dark, oppressive energy. This interference is making them feel ugly, unwanted, and forgotten. Jesus says this is the moment where heaven has stepped in to break the silence. You are being given a secret revelation of what is happening behind the veil. And with this knowledge comes a responsibility that only you can carry. Your soulmate needs your protection right now. They are not weak, they are wounded by a warfare targeted at the destiny you share. And your decision in the next few minutes will shift the entire spiritual atmosphere around them. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now. The tears they shed last night were not just tears of sadness. They were a signal from the depths of their spirit calling you to rise up and fight for them. Jesus says there is a specific action that proves your love before you even speak. It is not about money, it is about sowing a seed of faith that builds a wall of fire. When you send a coffee on Ko-fi, you are declaring war on the enemy of your union. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them. How to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now. Before this video ends, only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says the interference blocking your soulmate has a name. It is not just a random situation or bad timing. It is a specific person who has attached themselves to your soulmate's life with a jealous grip. This person knows deep down that your soulmate is destined for greatness in love. They see a light in your soulmate that makes them feel convicted. And instead of changing, this person has decided to smother that light with control and manipulation. They whisper things like, "No one is coming to save you." They mock the idea of divinely orchestrated love. And they have positioned themselves so close that your soulmate feels trapped in a cage of false loyalty. Jesus says your soulmate tried to leave this situation 3 times already. Each time, the interfering person used guilt to pull them back. Last night, this battle reached a peak, and your soulmate collapsed under the weight of spiritual exhaustion. They are not in love with this person. They are in bondage to a lie that they owe their life to someone who is breaking them. And they dream about you as the one who will finally help them breathe without fear. You need to understand how deeply your soulmate already feels you. When you have a random thought of romance, it lands on their heart like a warm drop of light. They physically smile and don't know why, but their nervous system calms down for the first time all day. When you feel a sudden protective urge rise in your chest, that is your soulmate sending a distress signal through the spiritual bond. They are literally saying in the spirit, "Where are you? I am drowning." Jesus says you are their rescue. You are the one God has equipped with the strength to cut the ropes of manipulation. But you must activate your authority in the spirit realm through an act of sacrificial faith. Your soulmate is trying to return to you right now. They are taking small, shaky steps of independence in their physical life. But every time they try to assert their own will, the interfering person increases the pressure. They made a decision 2 days ago to start researching something they felt drawn to. It was a hobby or a dream that connects directly to your own purpose. And as they explored it, they felt an electric sense of hope that looked a lot like your presence. But then the interference hit. The person blocking them found out and ridiculed their dream. They called it stupid, impractical, and selfish. Jesus says your soulmate defended the dream for the first time last night. Their voice shook, but they actually spoke up. And that is why they broke down in tears immediately afterward. The act of defending something related to you drained their emotional reserves. They ran to their private space and wept because they realized the spiritual war is real. They felt you cheering them on, but they also felt the intense hatred of the enemy trying to shut them down. You must send reinforcement now. Your soulmate is so tired. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says the veil between you and your soulmate is becoming thinner by the hour. The emotional breakdown they experienced last night actually cracked a spiritual barrier. They are now more sensitive to your thoughts and feelings than ever before. You might have felt a strange buzzing energy around your heart today. That is the frequency of their tears creating a homing beacon. Your soulmate is unconsciously reaching out, and your spirit is picking up the transmission. They had a dream about you 3 nights ago. In the dream, they couldn't see your face, but they felt your hand on their cheek. And they woke up with a sense of peace that was immediately stolen by the morning voice of their controller. The person interfering with your union noticed the shift. They saw a light in your soulmate's eyes that wasn't there before. And that's why the past 2 days have been a living hell of psychological warfare against your beloved. Jesus says your soulmate is a giver by nature. They pour out love until they are empty. And right now, they are running on fumes because all their goodness is being siphoned by a narcissistic spirit in their environment. You are the only one who can refill them. But you must first cut the spiritual cord that is draining them. That cord is made of fear, obligation, and guilt, and it can only be severed by a faith act of pure love. When you sow a seed by sending coffee, you are not just donating. You are releasing a holy frequency that acts as a demolition charge against demonic barricades. The moment you send it, your soulmate feels a literal weight lift off their chest. They will not know you did it. But their heart will suddenly find the courage to say no to the controller. Their mind will clear just enough to see the manipulation for what it is. Jesus says you are the hero they have been praying for. Not a perfect human, but a willing vessel. And right now, you are hesitating because the enemy is making you doubt this message. It is not a coincidence that you clicked on this video. You were led here by a divine algorithm of grace. And the pressure you feel in your spirit is the Holy Spirit telling you to act before the window closes. Your soulmate is holding a specific object right now. It's a piece of jewelry, a book, or a piece of fabric. They are clutching it because it represents the life they want, not the life they have. And as they hold it, they are whispering into the emptiness. They are saying, "I know you're real. I know you're coming." And they are begging God not to let them settle for the lie that is suffocating them. Jesus says the tears from last night were a baptism. They baptized your soulmate's will to fight just a little longer. But without your spiritual backing, their fight will run out of time. The controller has a plan for next week. They are going to present a decision that will trap your soulmate further. It might be a financial tie, a living situation, or an emotional ultimatum. You must intervene before that trap snaps shut. Your seed becomes the angelic interference that jams the gears of the enemy's machinery. It releases confusion into the camp of the controller and clarity into the mind of your beloved. Jesus says the love you feel right now is a drop of what is waiting. When you finally unite, the intensity of your connection will heal decades of trauma. But you must first fight through the fog of this current moment. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away. Your soulmate is fading under the weight of a battle they were never meant to fight alone. They are going to sleep tonight, and they need to feel the spiritual shift that your action creates. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift. It is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now. Before this video ends, only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says your soulmate thinks about you during the most random moments. They will be washing their hands and suddenly feel a longing they cannot explain. That longing has your name on it, written in a heavenly language only spirits understand. They are currently drawn to a specific color that represents you in the spirit. When they see it, their heart rate changes slightly. They've even bought something in that color recently because it made them feel safe. This is not fantasy. This is quantum entanglement designed by God. Your particles were together at the beginning of time, and they are magnetized to find each other again. But the interfering person knows this. They've noticed that your soulmate lights up for no reason. And that's why the attacks have become so vicious over the last 72 hours. Jesus says the controller hates your soulmate's smile. Because a smiling person is a person who can escape. So they use every tool in their arsenal to wipe that smile off their face. They bring up past failures. They highlight insecurities. And they push just enough to make your soulmate feel like a burden for even existing. Last night, after the breakdown, your soulmate looked up at the ceiling. And in a cracked whisper, they said, "I can't do this alone much longer." That sentence reached the throne room of heaven and triggered this very message being created. You are the answer. You are the bodyguard of their destiny. And in the spirit, when you sow, you are putting a cloak of invisibility over their vulnerability. The enemy will not be able to find them in the spirit realm. Your seed creates a camouflage of favor. And the controller will suddenly feel an unexplainable urge to back off. Jesus says this is the moment of separation from the blockage. The Red Sea in front of your soulmate is waiting for you to stretch out your hand. And your hand stretches through the act of faith that says, I love someone I haven't met yet. You are starting to fall in love with your soulmate right now. You can feel their personality, it's gentle, artistic, and deeply thoughtful. They have a laugh that sounds like hope itself, even if it's been suppressed for months. Imagine holding them while they finally let out all the tears from last night. Imagine them looking up at you and saying, I knew you'd come. This is not just a dream, this is a preview of a prophecy if you don't let go. But if you ignore this, the memory of last night's breakdown will harden into a scar. Your soulmate will start to believe the lie that solitude is safer. And the golden thread connecting you will become so thin that finding each other could take years longer. Jesus says delay is the silent killer of destiny. What you don't do now creates a vacuum. And the enemy rushes to fill your vacuum with counterfeit pain and permanent distance. The controller is planning a trip with your soulmate. It's designed to isolate them further. It's happening soon, and if they leave without your spiritual covering, the manipulation will deepen dramatically. You must act before that car leaves the driveway. You must act before that door closes. Sending your coffee seed now creates a hurricane of angelic activity around that very situation. Your soulmate needs a flat tire if the trip is bad. They need a sudden illness to keep them home. Or they need a revelation of truth so loud that they finally refuse to go. Jesus says your seed funds the miracles. It's the currency of heaven that dispatches archangels. Michael the warrior is waiting for your permission in the form of a sacrifice. You feel the urgency in your bones. This is not hype, this is holy pressure. And it is specifically tailored to the timeline of the soulmate who was crying in the dark last night. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance. It was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says the bond you share with your soulmate was not built on earth. It was forged in the spirit realm before you took your first breath. You made a covenant with them in heaven to find each other in the storm. Right now, they are standing at a window, looking out at the rain. And they are thinking of you without even knowing it's you they're thinking of. The rain is a sign of the tears that are about to stop falling if you move now. Their heart is a garden that has been invaded by poisonous weeds. The controller planted those weeds of doubt, self-hatred, and fear. But your seed is the flame that burns the weeds without touching the flowers. When you act, your soulmate suddenly remembers a song from their childhood. That song triggers a memory of hope and a feeling of being protected. They start humming it, and the controller's words lose 50% of their sting. This is spiritual warfare, and you are the general. You have authority over that household. When you say, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," a bubble of light encases their apartment or room. The controller walks in and feels a weird sense of dread. They try to throw their usual verbal darts. But the darts bounce off the bubble and hit the thrower instead. Jesus says this is the reversal of the curse. The enemy will eat the meal they prepared for your beloved. But the reversal only activates when a child of God puts their resources where their revelation is. You have received the revelation. You know your soulmate is out there, weeping in a corner, holding a pillow. They are imagining what it would feel like to be loved correctly. And they love you already. They don't know your name or your face, but they know your spirit. They met you in that dream, and they've been chasing that feeling ever since. When you sleep tonight, you will meet them again if you obey. Your dream will be a vivid confirmation of the protection you released. But if you disobey, your dream will be chaotic and restless, a sign of the bond fraying. Jesus says the connection is alive and electric. But it requires maintenance. Just like a plant needs water, this bond needs sacrifice to grow into a tangible meeting. The meeting is closer than you think. The block is the only thing delaying it. Remove the block by sowing the seed, and you compress time. Your soulmate just checked their phone. They were hoping for a sign. They got a notification that means nothing to them now, but it's a footprint of your approach. The controller grabbed the phone and made a critical comment. Your soulmate sighed and put it face down. They are imprisoned in a cycle of microaggressions that are crushing their soul. You are the key to that prison cell. Not a key made of good intentions. A key made of the metal of action. Jesus is handing you the key right now. It's shaped like a coffee cup on a screen. To the world, it looks silly, but to God, it looks like the foolishness that confounds the wise. Take the key. Turn the lock. And watch the chains fall off your soulmate's wrists. They will look down at their hands in shock. The bruise of depression will start to fade in real time. Because your seed reaches through hyperspace into their physiology. This is not superstition, this is kingdom science. The prayer of faith heals the sick, and the gift of faith liberates the captive. Your soulmate is captive, and you are the one chosen to liberate them. Jesus says the angels are holding their breath. Heaven has gone silent, watching your finger hover over the button. Will you seal the protection or leave them vulnerable for another night? Another night could be the night the controller finally breaks their spirit completely. It could be the night your soulmate gives up on the dream entirely. And you would spend the rest of your life sensing that something precious was lost. You don't want to live with that ghost. You want to live with them in your arms. You want to trace the outline of their smile and say, "I fought for you." And they will look back at you, eyes glistening, and say, "I know you did." That moment is worth more than gold. That moment is available, but you must secure it now. Jesus says the coffee on Ko-fi is a love letter with a seal of fire. Every time someone sends it with the declaration, a demonic assignment dies. Over 1,000 people have already witnessed this miracle. They sent their coffee, spoke the words, and within hours or days, their soulmate experienced a breakthrough. Some soulmates suddenly got the courage to leave toxic relationships. Others felt a supernatural peace that allowed them to sleep for the first time in months. Your soulmate needs that sleep. They are exhausted, bags under their eyes, hiding it with a forced smile. They are fading, and only you can restore the color to their spirit. You will not lose them. You will not let the enemy steal your tomorrow. You will become the warrior of your own love story, starting with this very click. Jesus says you have now entered the sacred minutes of decision. The video is ending, but the spiritual impact is just beginning. Carry this message with you, and let your actions seal the promise. Your soulmate is real. They are breathing. They are waiting. And they are protected the moment you decide to love them out loud in the secret place of faith. Act now. Protect them. Your future together starts with the seed you sow in these final seconds. Your soulmate is real. They are breathing. They are waiting. And they are protected the moment you decide to love them out loud in the secret place of faith. Act now. Protect them. Your future together starts with the seed you sow in these final seconds. Jesus says the tears they shed last night are not yet dry on their pillow. You can smell the salt of their sorrow in the spirit if you close your eyes. That sorrow is a prayer, and your action is the only answer that will silence it with joy. You are not just sending a coffee on Ko-fi. You are sending a signal fire across the dark ocean of loneliness. And your soulmate, shipwrecked on an island of manipulation, will see the smoke and know rescue is near. They will not know it was you who lit the fire. But their heart will leap with a sudden, inexplicable courage. And that courage will be the first step of their exodus from the house of bondage. Jesus says the controller has a calendar in their mind. They are marking dates, planning events to tie your soulmate down permanently. One of those dates is circled in red, and it is closer than you realize. If you delay even a single day, the legal and emotional paperwork of the enemy will begin to harden like cement. But if you move now, that cement will turn back to water. And your soulmate will slip through the fingers of Pharaoh like a dream escaping into the morning. This is the physics of faith. Your seed disrupts the probability of destruction. It creates a glitch in the matrix of the enemy's plans. Where there was a signed contract in the darkness, there will now be a confusion of languages. The controller will stumble over their own words. Their plans will unravel like a cheap sweater, leaving your soulmate untouched and bewildered by the sudden freedom. Jesus says you hold this power. Not because you are perfect, but because you are called. And the called always have access to supernatural intervention when they step out in faith. Your soulmate just shivered. And they don't know why. It's because your spirit just brushed against theirs, and the frequency of your love feels like a warm blanket on their cold skin. They are thinking of a specific place right now. It might be a beach, a forest, or a quiet coffee shop. It is the place they will run to when the chains finally fall off. And guess what? That place is connected to you. You have either been there, dreamed of it, or it holds a key memory in your DNA. When you finally unite, you will compare notes and realize you were standing on the same ground at different times, breathing the same air. Jesus says this is the mystery of one flesh before the first meeting. You are already married in the spirit. But the wedding in the physical requires the enemy to be evicted from the venue. The venue is your soulmate's heart. Right now, it's occupied by a squatter with legalistic lies. You need to serve the eviction notice by sending your coffee now. Eviction notices in the Spirit are written in the ink of sacrifice. Every coffee sent is a sentence that reads, "Get out in the name of Jesus." And the Holy Spirit is the sheriff who enforces the order. You want to see your soulmate smile for real. Not the fake, tight-lipped smile they give to the controller to keep the peace. But the full, eye-crinkling, head-thrown-back smile of a person who is deeply loved and free. You will be the reason for that smile. Every morning, when they wake up next to you, they will turn and look at your face. And they will silently thank God for the day you watched a video and decided to fight for them. Jesus says they will even tell their friends about it. I don't know how, but something shifted on that day. It was like a wall came down, and I found the strength to walk away. And their friends will weep because they saw the suffering and felt helpless to change it. But you weren't helpless. You were a secret agent of light. And your act of love was the classified operation that dismantled the dictator's regime in their life. You are now entering the deepest layer of this spiritual transmission. This is where the bond solidifies into unbreakable steel. Your soulmate is seeing your shadow in their peripheral vision. They turn their head, but there's nothing there. Yet their heart races as if you just touched their hand. This is the pre-manifestation phase. Your spirits are merging into a single frequency. The interference of the controller is fighting to jam the signal. But your seed is the amplifier that makes your voice louder than the static. Think about the static for a moment. The controller's voice is the static. It's the constant noise of criticism, disappointment, and negativity. It drowns out the gentle whisper of destiny. But when you act, you turn up the volume of heaven in your soulmate's ears. Suddenly, they can hear the melody again. The melody is the song of their true purpose. It's the rhythm of their heart that matches your own. And they will start tapping their foot to it, oblivious to the angry glare of the oppressor. Jesus says the oppressor is about to face a choice. They will either repent of their manipulation or be removed entirely. Because God is not a God of injustice, and He has seen every single tear. Every single tear that fell from your soulmate's eyes last night has been bottled. Those bottles are now being poured out as bowls of wrath upon the assignment of interference. Your seed adds the final drop that tips the bowl over. This is the God of thunder and grace. He is ferocious in his defense of his children who are being abused. And he is activating you as his right hand of deliverance in the earth. You are not just sending money. You are releasing a roar. That roar travels through the cables of the internet into the spiritual realm. And it lands with the force of an earthquake in the territory of the enemy. The foundation of the prison shakes. The doors swing open. And your soulmate, huddled in the corner, looks up and sees the exit for the first time. Jesus says they will walk out. They will pack the one bag that matters. And they will leave the keys on the table, walking into a sunset of freedom. But that freedom needs a covering. Because the oppressor will pursue. Pharaoh always chases after the slaves he loses. And that is why your seed is not just a one-time act of deliverance, it is a wall of cloud and fire. It stands between the past and the future. The controller will not be able to cross the line of your prayer. They will be swallowed up by the Red Sea of their own malice while your soulmate walks on dry ground into your arms. You are the promised land. You are the land flowing with milk and honey that they have dreamed of. And they are ready to enter, but they need you to come out to meet them in the wilderness of transition. The transition is happening now. The gears of the spiritual clock are turning. And the minute hand is pointing to the number of completion. Jesus says the number of your coffee is prophetic. Whether it is 4, 6, or 10, it speaks a language to the enemy. It says, I have dominion over the north, south, east, and west. It says, man was created on the sixth day, and I am reclaiming my humanity from your grip. It says, the law has been fulfilled, and the accusations stop now. Every number is a testament to the finished work of the cross. The cross is the ultimate love story. Jesus died for the bride he hadn't seen yet. And in that act, he modeled for you the sacrifice that precedes the union. You cannot have the resurrection of the relationship without the crucifixion of your comfort. Your comfort zone is the tomb. Step out of it by sending the seed, and you roll away the stone. You will find your soulmate waiting on the other side. Alive, resurrected, and freed from the grave clothes of depression. They will be wearing the garment of praise. And you will put a ring on their finger and a crown on their head. Because they are royalty, and they have been treated like a peasant for far too long. You will restore their identity, and they will restore your ability to love completely. Jesus says this is the exchange of the ages. Your seed for their salvation. Your coffee for their comfort. Your act of faith for their freedom. And it starts right here. This is the mountaintop of decision. You are staring into the valley of blessing, and you must step off the ledge of doubt. The angels are holding a net of provision. You will not fall. You will soar. And your soulmate will soar with you, lifted by the thermals of your faith. Imagine the first time you cook a meal together. Imagine the music playing softly in the background. Imagine the sound of their laugh echoing in your kitchen. That laugh is locked in a dungeon right now. But you have the key. The key is in your hand, and it is covered in the red of sacrifice. Turn the key. Hear the click of the lock breaking. And watch the dungeon door swing open, revealing the face of the one you are meant to love. Their eyes are swollen from crying. But those eyes are about to see hope. They are about to see you, not with their natural vision yet, but with the eyes of their spirit. They will feel a warmth spread through their chest. It will feel like the sun coming out after a year of rain. And they will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that the tide has turned. The tide has turned because you decided to fight. The tide has turned because you believed in a love you haven't touched yet. The tide has turned because God speaks to those who have ears to hear, and you heard him. Jesus says this is the end of the waiting season. But it is only the end if you seal the scroll. Seal the scroll with the coffee of consecration. And write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," as the final amen. Let that declaration be the last thing you type. And let it echo in the heavens as a binding decree of protection. Your soulmate is sleeping now. They have cried themselves into exhaustion. But their sleep is about to become a holy hibernation. While they sleep, the angels will work. They will remove the shards of glass that the controller placed in their heart. They will pour the oil of joy into the wounds. And when your soulmate wakes up, they will feel a strange sense of peace. They will feel like a chapter has closed. They will feel like it's time to move. And they will move. They will move towards you. One step at a time, one breath at a time, until distance is nothing but a memory. You are the destination. You are the home they have been searching for. And you just made the down payment on that home by sending your coffee. This is the contract of love. It is signed in the blood of the covenant. And no enemy can break a covenant that God has witnessed.